Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on F1 2017, continuing the career mode. Now, the good news from last time, we actually got some points in our first race. The bad news is engine. Yeah, engine isn't in particularly good condition. Now, some people are saying this is a bug. I don't know whether this is a game bug or whether I just drove the engine too hard. I am not sure, considering I kind of pushed the car the entire race, and the other bit down here it says, warning, so you can, driving on uneven track surfaces such as curbs, grass, gravel and so on breaks this, and I did a fair bit of that as well. So, not sure whether that is my fault or whether, as some people said, the game's bugs to do with the, to do with the wear of parts when you're on shorter distance races. Either way, I'm going to change both the internal combustion engine and the control electronics. Everything else will stay, although the other stuff is, both of the motor units are pretty worn. They're not going to be very happy by the end of the race. Basically, it's got to be done. Basically, it's got to be done if we're going to stand a chance of, I think, maybe even just finishing the race. So it's off to practice. I'm not a huge fan of China. I'm going to be honest, I'm not expected to qualify particularly well. I'm hoping that I can come good during the race. Well, so far practice has been very uneventful. Been making my way through the various programs, not doing a good job on fuel saving particularly, but everything else has been relatively okay. The biggest, concern, if you like, is the condition of my Renault engine. As I said at the start, we changed out some, various components. The thing is, it's the rest of it that is, wearing as we're going through this. 65% on one part. And, well, this is still in the practice session. I am hoping we'll make it through the race, but it might be quite worn by the time we get to the finish line. I'm hoping it doesn't fail. It's really very much a case of, fingers crossed, hope for the best. That's literally all we have. I guess I could probably try and not drive the car too hard. That would probably also help, but, in the midst of battle, I'm not sure that my brain is really capable of doing that so well. I really hope the engine doesn't fail on me.
We don't need to push too hard in this session. We should have the pace to qualify easily.
Jeff, I'm not so confident. I'm not as confident. I appreciate the confidence in my skill, but it's quite wet. It's drizzle at the moment. I think that's supposed to get wetter, if I remember correctly. Oh no, it's supposed to be just drizzle throughout qualifying one, which might suit my car more. I should probably get out here because, I don't really, don't know what the wet weather. I'd hoped that we could have just kind of done one lap and maybe not put too much extra stress on the engine. But now we're going to go face a wet qualifier or a damp circuit, maybe not a full wet circuit. I don't know what grip levels are going to be like. It's really going to be a case of try and not plummet towards the wall in this one. Because I don't know where my braking points, and so I'm going to have no wet running in practice sessions whatsoever. No, of course, no wet running at Australia either. I have got perhaps a little bit higher downforce settings on this car than some other, or that you might possibly run, but oh my god, there is no grip out here. There is nothing. The team are expecting me to qualify 10th as well, which is ambitious to say the least. I don't think they got the memo when I said I'm not a very good qualifier with these cars. I mean, I might be able to come in those sort of positions during the race, but don't expect that in qualifying from me. At least not at this circuit here. Maybe at Australia, maybe at Canada, maybe at Hungary, for example, might be able to get better qualifyings, but here, I don't particularly like these conditions may suit the Renault more. In all honesty, its sort of power deficiencies may not be exposed quite as much. It's not terrible power deficiency, not as bad as the Hondas, but it's still going to be slower in a straight line. I am way out of the groove through there. I don't even know what sort of lap time I'm aiming for other than not fall off the road lap. It's basically about the best kind of guesstimate that I have at the moment. Just don't go skating off the road, and it feels, I have to say, it feels incredibly treacherous. Sorry, this is only on intermediates as well, and yeah, they've done weather well. Formula 1 games always have done weather well, but it's a real handful getting this car around this circuit. I don't know. That's a hurty look to the engine wear bits, because one of them's at 70%. If I qualify very badly, I'd be tempted to change it and take a grid place penalty and have a engine that might actually finish the race. I would be tempted. Anyway, first lap, 51.5, I guess is not too bad. Oh god, please slow down into turn 1. We've got skating off this lap here. It's probably not going to be a better one. The problem is, if the rain does get heavier, that might have been my one good lap. Am I going to get any opportunity? I think I'm too far probably down in terms of time, and I've got to think about the engine, so we're going to return to garage, wait it out a little bit and see if we need to have another crack. Well, we're definitely going to have to go again. Oh, my poor engine. My poor engine. This is not going to be good. Okay, I think my engine is starting to have issues. I've just been told I can't change the fuel mixture level anymore, and something's gone to orange on the little telemetry. Annoyingly, it was just as I was setting a good lap here. It's just as things were going relatively well, and we're still going set about a lap. We lost a little bit of time. We're up into a 13th place. Whew. I don't know if I can go any faster. I don't know if I probably can't if I can't get full engine mode. That is the end of qualifying. We might as well have a go at this lap. Tends to be sector 1 that I'm struggling the most in terms of my driving, getting lap speed out of the car. Sector 2 is where I am strong, also with me running higher downforce. That'll probably explain some of that. Sector 3 can be good. I've got the brakes up and go exploring down at that corner. We're half a second down in terms of lap time. I think we might as well just back it off and okay, we can put it back into lean, but no. How's the engine doing? 75%. I mean, hell, the internal combustion engine is not great after all of this. Well, we're 13th. We might just get through, but I'm not sure my engine is going to survive another session, quite frankly. Good news! Thank you, Jeff! I have got maximum fuel mode back. Unfortunately, I've not had a particularly good start to this lap. I think we may pitch. We may stand a chance of actually finishing a lap with lots of fuel. We may be able to have a full attack lap and see if we can maybe make it into the top 10. How are poorly bits doing? Still relatively poorly. Well, Jeff, in all his engineering brilliance, is... Thank you. Look, I was about to praise you, and you're just telling me that it's raining. I figured out the it's raining part quite easily here. Either way, in all his engineering magnificence, as much as he might talk over me, I have got maximum engine mode to use, potentially break my car some more, but we might be able to get a half-decent qualifying lap out of the car. This is the hope, at least. Oh, there is a lot of very bright light just occurred as I went across the start-finish line. However, I did just set a pretty good lap. I'm turning everything down so that we can try and save whatever we can of the engine. How is it doing now? Oh, it's bad. It's quite bad now. It's at 80%. Oh, go on. You can go past. That Banzai lap might have actually got me into the top 10. Oh, didn't quite make it. Disappointing. Just sped up. Didn't realise quite how close it was to the end of the session. Bugger, we're going to be 11th. I have, most importantly, out-qualified my teammate. It's only a tenth of a second off Ricciardo. It might have been that the track got dry towards the end. Might have been these guys have just got better wet setups than I. Verstappen, actually, highest in that second qualifying session. The Red Bulls could throw up an interesting surprise. A real mixture of cars in the group here. Massa's out of qualifying. Oh, now this throws up really interesting questions as to what I do about my engine. Okay, so interestingly, there is no penalty for changing these bits of the engine. Now I'm guessing because it is within the 4 components that I have to begin with, I can get away with fitting new ones. What this does mean is that while I can get some new bits on here now, later on in the season I'm going to be taking a whole bunch of grid penalties, but it's going to have to do, obviously, gearbox, Now I know if I fit a new gear, I'm fairly sure if I fit a new gearbox it'll potentially be a grid penalty. It's certainly not going to complete 6 races. It is at 50% wear, so it might fail before the end of the race. It might not. I'm not gonna fit it. We're gonna take a risk. I might have to be careful towards the end of the race. We're gonna go for it. Fingers crossed. We can make it to the end of the race, because I think I stand a good chance of maybe getting some points here. Well, here we go. As the cars form up on the grid, I am very much in a Force India sandwich, and really hoping that we have a slightly more conventional start than we had last time out. Getting a slight tap and going sideways into turn 1 is not what I want to be doing here. I am stuck on the outside. Who knows how this one is going to go as we are off and underway. Not a bad start from my Renault. Very, very poor start from Grosjean there. I can get across as we all run into the first corner. Can't really sneak anywhere. Haven't really got a good enough speed. Oh, we've got a Force India. He's going to try to go around the outside. He might get that if I can't get a good run. I can't get a good enough run out of... Oh, bloody hell. Gearbox issues are occurring already, but I've had a very, very big dive on the Force Indias, and I think on Grosjean as well. Made that one work. Yeah. I want to know, Jeff, how do you expect me to keep gear shifts to a minimum around a racetrack? It was 50% wear, which, okay, isn't great, but that has done a race and sort of 2 weekends up until a race, so we should potentially finish this with about 75% wear on the gearbox, which I'm hoping is still drivable. We might have some issues, but yeah, as long as it's still drivable, as long as it's still working, that is what I want to have. If you can manage that, Jeff, work your magic that got me up into 11th on the grid with your helpful quick fix with whatever you did to the fuel, and if you can do that with the gearbox to keep it happy, then I will be good. This is where a little bit of a sitting duck, running slightly higher downforce. Oh, a bit early on the brakes as well for the first time into the hairpin, but I wasn't quite sure on such a tight line where I was going to need to brake. Looks like it might become the great Alex train once more. We had the big Stroll train last time out. At the rate we're going, I might help cause this one. However, we're in 9th place. We're in the points at the moment, which is the important bit. I say the important bit. The important bit is to be in the points at the end of the race, but it could have been a lot worse of a start. It looks like looks like we've got another Red Bull stuck behind a Williams. Not sure which way around it is. Actually, I'm fairly sure it is Stroll, because Massa had a problem in qualifying, so it might be Verstappen getting held up by Stroll for a second race in a row. That would be an interesting one. And if he can back into Kvyat and then back into me, I'd be okay with that. You know, I'm fine with that. If you want to do that one game, we can run away from Ocon slightly. That would also be very helpful indeed. so far everything is remaining Jeff, literally the one time in these last few laps where I've chosen to talk to people and I've now fallen off the track on my own. Jeff, it's all your fault. Oh bugger, this is about to get really sketchy. About to say we're at kind of a status quo. Oh. Okay, Raikkonen's breaking down for the second race in a row. I may have had a little bit of a bump with Ocon. I was going to say, yeah, not much is changing. It's actually Ricciardo rather than Verstappen that is stuck behind the Williams this time around. I fear I might be a sitting duck down this straight. I'm doing the best that I can with these tyres, but I am struggling a little bit. I was running the car in rich fuel for a while, but some of that off and I was okay in terms of speed. As soon as I turn it back, I wanted to save some for the last lap potential assaults on people. Things have, got decidedly more difficult to fend off from the cars behind, although it looks like Grosjean is starting to fight with the Force Indias. If they want to fight each other rather than fight me, that would be really helpful. If they want to do that, I would be really grateful, so I can just run around on my own. I think I might be in a little bit of trouble. In the previous laps, I've managed to be fast enough through the second sector that by the time we come to the long straight, that the Hasses were too far back. This time, looks like I am going to have to go quite defensive as we go down into the hairpin once more. Park my car on the apex. Don't give Grosjean anywhere to go. The problem is, while I can defend, it then very much slows me down. They're going to dive into the pits. They are going to get on fresh tyres. Now, it's how much the undercut works for them is the question on me getting past me, and then how many of them I can get back past with my better, hopefully, super softs. It's been quite a boring start to the race. I thought I heard a really weird noise come from my gearbox then, which is a little bit disconcerting. It's been quite a processional start to the race, but I have a sneaking suspicion things are about to get rather interesting.
Some information on Vettel. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
And the other Ferrari's breaking down as well. They're not having a great season so far. It is not going according to plan for the Ferraris. Let's hope it can go a little bit better planned for this Renault. Oh, they're going to take the lead again. Yay! I've led 2 Grand Prix. Briefly, but I will lead. And here comes Hamilton retaking that lead, but I had a longer lead. I led for like 3/4 of a lap, which is not bad for for a Renault. We're coming into the pits this time around. I am hoping that the undercut won't have been too powerful. Not really sure how good that's going to be, because I'm hoping they're going to start fighting each other and that sort of thing as well. Alright, get down to speed. A little bit too slow perhaps on the way in. Yeah, fingers crossed they were so busy fighting each other when they came out that they won't have been able to make the most. Oh! There's been a safety car. I don't know if this is going to work for me or not. It might. It might actually work out really well for me. Come on! Come on! Oh, Mercedes is broken down. Not sure which one. Oh, I've got to take the pit limiter off. I'm an idiot. That might have cost me a couple of positions. I forgot that it doesn't automatically take the pit limiter off, and I've run very, very wide. It shouldn't matter, because I don't think anyone can overtake me. Suddenly got very cold tyres. Ooh! This is interesting. I'm not sure. I think it was Bottas I saw on the. Okay, sure. We'll go past the safety car. Yeah. This is all very peculiar. Well, something happened by the looks of it to Bottas's car by the pit exit. As I said, I think it's Bottas because I'm fairly sure that's the name that I saw tumbling down the leaderboard. And considering where Hamilton would have been around the lap, I think it's unlikely for it to have been to be him. Ricciardo still hasn't managed. Didn't hear. Sorry, Jeff. I was busy talking over you on that one. Oh, Hulkenberg! No, no, Hulkenberg! What have you done? We're not going to get a double points finish for Renault. Before I got distracted, actually, wait, hold on, what am I doing with fuel? Fuel. Put that back into lean, save some fuel so we can go on that big old attack at the end of the, say at the end of the race, for a large amount at the end of the race. It'll be good news, potentially, for my gearbox, good news for other bits of my car, as well, in terms of keeping them functioning. Right, I have not done a safety car restart on this game. Raikkonen and Verstappen have got a little bit lost. That's never good. We're not allowed to overtake until the green flags. I'm going to get my engine ready to go.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
There's plenty of fuel left here. I'm not sure when they're going to go, when Hamilton is going to want to release the field, which is going to sit here doing 93 miles an hour, ready for us to be released. Is he going to wait until... I don't know if this is randomised or whether they'll always do the same thing. Prepare to resume racing. I am prepared. I am ready. I'm a little bit wide at the hairpin. Okay, made a little bit of a mess of the hairpin. Stroll's come in! What on earth is Stroll doing? I have no idea. Maybe something's broken, something's unhappy with the Williams. I mean, that was about as far forward as I was expecting to maybe get. Unfortunately, what that does mean is that Ricciardo has no one slowing him down. I do have better tyres, but a considerably worse car, and I'm not liking this. I'm not good at this circuit. I don't like this circuit. It does look like one of the Ferraris is not really going with Hamilton at the front of the field. Oh, I forgot I'm on much better tyres. I can brake a hell of a lot later than that. We can be brave into these... Okay, another one is having technical issues. Yeah, one of the Ferraris is really backing up this group of cars. I think it could be Raikkonen. I am not sure. Now, whether anyone is going to be able to get away... No, it's Vettel. Vettel is backing up this group of cars. Now, whether anyone's going to be able to make their way through that group or not, I do not know. I mean, his safety car has pretty much been timed to perfection. Like, if I asked for a safety car, that's about when you're going to want it. Oh, they're banging wheels up ahead as we head down into the hairpin. Oh, that was close between all of them. I think they have made it through. As Verstappen is in the mix there. I think Raikkonen's got 2 places in one go. Yeah, Vettel's car is very, very unhealthy. We've got a couple of laps to maybe find a way past him. Depends if he slows up Ricciardo enough for me to maybe even be able to pounce on this little group. You know what I said at the start of this career mode and so on about not really going to be chances of podiums and wins unless something really bizarre has happened? This is it. This is the sort of bizarro thing. Wow, they're really early on the brakes. I was not even intending on trying to make that one happen. Massa's gone. Massa's broken down as well. We're up into 5th place. It was a slight dive bomb on Ricciardo, but I think because Vettel's struggling, I don't know what engine problem he has got, but he's struggling for pace, backed up Ricciardo so much, and I was still on relatively high attack, and yeah, I'm sorry Ricciardo for the slight... say barge out of the way. It was I am not stopping any quicker than this, so fire my car into a space. We have still got a okay amount of fuel. I will have to put it back in too, as DRS not being reactivated yet. That's a shame. I would have done with that, because Ferrari is quick at a straight line. We are going to try and get this move done up the inside, run Vettel out wide. That is not very often. That is not very often that a Renault has dove up the inside of Sebastian Vettel and made a pass stick. Right, DRS has now been enabled. I'm going to put my engine mode back to standard. Vettel hasn't got an answer for the Renault here, as he's going to be fighting... Ricciardo has got past. Bugger. Maybe my dive put Vettel out very wide, and Ricciardo has found a way past. Can't really worry. I think I'm far enough away from Ricciardo, but as long as the Renault gearbox holds up in this... Oh, their line's got... How many cars are going to finish this?
One of the gears, the transmission is significantly damaged. We're down a gear.
Okay, we're down a gear. I think we've lost fifth. Yeah, we've lost fifth gear. We just need to make it around this lap. Just make it survive this lap. We don't have fifth. We can still do it. Come on, little Renault. You have done brilliantly well here in China. A circuit that I do not like. A qualifying session that went horribly, horribly wrong on the most part. Get it in sixth, put your foot down, put the engine mode back up to rich. We are going to have some serious defending to do, though, by the time we get down to the hairpin. It's getting out of the hairpin that's going to be the problem. I can defend under brakes, but it's the run towards that final corner where we might have potential issues with a very, very quick Red Bull behind us. Come on, car. You can do it. Sixth gear. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, God. I've got to be careful not to downshift and blow the engine to bits because I instinctively grab the downshift paddle. It's not going to matter. We got fourth. How the hell did we manage that one? It wasn't a perfect condition, Renault. We lost a gear. There was a amazing timed safety car, and Vettel with mechanical strife as well. Wait, Raikkonen, what's going on? Raikkonen had a smile on his face. That is incorrect. That is an anomaly. Hamilton will take a victory here. Well, I might not have got on the podium, but I tell you what, fourth place is as good as for me with that Renault. One more lap, Ricciardo would have had us. Vettel might have held off everybody else for long enough, but tyre strategy worked outstandingly. I'm the only one on the super soft, certainly up towards the front there. Ocon did a pretty decent job there. Oh, that was an exciting one.
It's a difficult one, but I'll have to go for the Renault driver.
Yay! I got driver of the day. It's always worth listening. Also, oh, Vettel plummeted all the way down to 16th by the... I might have to come into pits. Ah, okay. Well, that was an exciting Chinese Grand Prix for all the right reasons. I mean, as far as the championship, as far as the driving standings go after that, it's Mercedes, Red Bull, and then the two Ferraris, mainly because one's failed or had massive issues in each of the first race. Hamilton, the only real consistent finisher in all of this, with Bottas going out, Verstappen, Ricciardo are there. I'm up to 7th in the standings. Renault has sat 4th in the constructors. Well, that was a perfect storm of craziness that will suit me very nicely. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.